Greetings, and welcome to the Library of Deep Knowledge. I am Naho the Storyteller, and I have a tale to tell you. Wait, my voice isn't coming through the mic very strongly. What the hell? Hello? Yeah, no. Is my voice like super quiet?
I did turn the volume up a bit for you on Discord than I had before.
Because on OBS here, it's like nearly imperceptible.
Mm.
Um, can you turn on the stream real quick and just let me know if that's coming through?
Mm. Let's see.
Yeah, just mute me in Discord and
You.
okay, testing, testing. Can you hear me just fine? Is this coming through? Or do I need a new microphone? Hello? Lux, you might want to undeafen yourself so that I can hear you.
You're very quiet.
Oh, god damn it. Alright, is this any better? Yeah, I've been being told that I'm like super quiet lately, and I don't know what's going on with that.
You got to kind of louder now.
Alright, how about now? Okay, now it looks good. Now it looks good. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Um Now that the technical difficulties are sorted, the library's finally back and I'm joined by Lux.
Hello, everyone.
Um it's just us two today, so this is going to be interesting.
Oh yeah.
Um let's get right to it. This is probably going to be a shorter stream because I don't think I have the stamina to do every single male voice.
Yeah.
And that and that's not even to mention Lux.
Oh, listen, I did like one visual novel all by myself on stream, so you know.
Which one, out of curiosity?
Cage of Roses. It's a vampire lesbian romance.
Hmm.
Yeah. Make sure you use um the safe for work version if you ever stream it.
I mean, that's always the first thing I look into.
Yeah,
But
fair
yeah.
enough.
I mean, that's why I'm even running Tokyo Necro at all. Because I had to scour the internet for a version that was okay to run on Twitch that
Yeah.
also has all of its content.
Yeah, but it gets pretty close.
It sure does.
uh
How about I read for Ethica? Just
okay.
to just to take some load off of you.
Alright.
Sorry I took so long.
Oh,
Kiri's visibly surprised by my makeup. Mitsumine's skills appear to have immediately paid off. You don't mind if Mitsumine tags along, do you?
does that mean she... Yes. Ethica has filled me in on the details, and I've agreed to help.
Kiri doesn't seem surprised by Mitsumine's declaration. She likely expected this to happen.
Are you really sure about this? Absolutely. In that case, please look after Ethica for me.
Kiri proceeds to bow her head to Mitsumine about as deep as she can. I've got a gallon of green tea next to me.
Yeah.
I see you've become more of a man since the last time I saw you. As Milgram left the room with Iria in tow, the person that entered in his stead was none other than Kara Suzumi Ikkatsu, my personal god. How can this be? I briefly entertained the possibility of this being a dream. 2.5 years ago. I fought to save Gijo Mitsumi at the foot of the Tokyo radio tower. That was the day Ikkatsu died. He was set upon by necromancers while traveling in his vehicle and ended up getting poisoned by them. Despite his Herculean strength and unmatched physique, not even Ikkatsu could survive the lethal dose of poison gas they so brazenly used on him. After the incident, he received a military funeral. I can still vividly recall the deafening roar of the 2 artillery shots they fired off in his honor. Ryoko's face was a mask of dried tears and bitter grief. Tokitaka trembled with indignation and regret. Ethica simply hung her head low, refusing to look anyone in the eye. Those memories are still with me. It all happened, I'm sure of it. We were told Ikkatsu was cremated and his ashes transported to Aoyama Cemetery. So then, why is he here now? Still doubting your eyes. Fine. I'll make a believer out of you yet. Huh? I can see his muscles bulge as he grabs the blackout collar around my neck. Even with the strain of his effort visible on his face, Ikkatsu still has enough energy left to break into a faint smile. Eternal Father, holy crap, I didn't expect to see you here. It's just me and Lux today, otherwise, well actually, you're probably at work or getting ready for work, so... Lux, Eternal Father's a good friend of mine, and, he was originally...
Hello, Eternal Father.
He was originally someone that I had planned on maybe voicing Ikkatsu. He doesn't have much voice acting experience, and he's not super great at it, but he has the vibes.
Amazing, we love the vibes.
I can see a thin crack begin to form in the collar. And just like that, Ikkatsu breaks the collar to pieces with nothing but his bare hand. He then turns his attention to my legs. He reaches for one of my stun cuffs and tears it off with one swift move. I'm hit by a fierce electric shock the moment the cuff is shattered. While I'm still reeling from the pain, Ikkatsu gleefully moves on to break the rest of the cuffs. First my left foot, then my left hand, and finally my right hand. My body is ravaged by electric shock after electric shock, and as the final cuff falls to the ground, so do I. Ikkatsu props me up with one of his thick, muscular arms. Tattooed on it is the emblem of the Close Quarters Armed Martial Arts Training Unit. His skin is like ice, and then it all becomes clear as day. There's not an ounce of life coursing in his veins. Ikkatsu, are you? An undead body has plenty of advantages. For starters, I don't feel much pain at all. Ikkatsu hurls me across the room. However, the way he does it has little in common with traditional wrestling or judo techniques. With a complete disregard for my stance and posture, he simply grabs me by the wrist and throws me like one would a ball. I hit the wall with the force of a cannonball, then crumple to the ground. I managed to just barely shield my head with my left hand, but I'm unable to actually stand up. With my vision turned upside down, I can see Ikkatsu drawing closer. I'm suddenly hit by a wave of nostalgia. This reminds me of the training he forced us to undergo week after week. Once you're dead, injuries stop mattering. Well, you still gotta keep your brain safe, though. If that gets destroyed, it's lights out for good. But everything else is fair game. Your guts could be torn out and you'd still be right as rain. An artery gets slashed up, some real nasty looking blood will gush out, but that's it. The temptation to pass out is strong, but I use every last nerve in my body to try and stay conscious. Unless I find a way out, I'll end up dying in here. And I simply can't let that happen. My vision swims, but I force myself to stand. He's immediately on me, though. This, too, brings back old memories. Do you get it now? No body temperature. I'm practically invisible to infrared sensors. I don't get hungry. Don't need to eat in the first place. No emotions means no worries, no fears, no doubts. Ikkatsu puts me in a chokehold. He's not applying pressure to my carotid artery with the goal of choking me out. Instead, his intention is to torment me by blocking my windpipe. It's too much. At this point, even making me pass out would be a mercy. I desperately twist and turn to escape Ikkatsu's stranglehold. I push against his sides in an attempt to force him to ease up and let me breathe. Ikkatsu's grip, however, keeps holding me like a vice. No matter how much I struggle, he won't budge an inch. I feel like a child. Moments before I'm about to succumb, Ikkatsu finally loosens his grip. Fresh oxygen fills my lungs. A second later and I would have been down for the count. But even as relief washes over me, I ball my fists and assume a combat stance. That's the spirit. Followed by that brief show of admiration, Ikkatsu launches his fist at me. I duck out of its way, but he doesn't let up one bit. Come on! Come on! Come on! He throws punch after punch, kick after kick. I do my best to evade each of them. He moves considerably faster than what you'd expect from someone with his hulking frame. Every consecutive punch he throws comes at me with the speed and power of a runaway train. My consciousness begins to waver. I have to focus, concentrate only on dodging. I evade his fists, legs, and elbows, even his head at times. I tap into everything I've learned from Ikkatsu while he was still alive, as well as the skills I've cultivated over the past 2.5 years. But he's simply too fast. I block Ikkatsu's body blow with my elbow, even as my brain screams at me that it's a bad idea. My body makes an audible crunch as his attack sends me crashing into the wall. He then immediately picks me up, throws me to the ground, and puts puts me in an arm lock. And here I thought you'd improved. What have you been doing these past 2.5 years, boy? Nope, I need to take a drink now. Ugh.
Yeah, that's a long scene.
I'm putting too much into Ikkatsu, and it's taking its toll on me.
Yeah, you're doing a great Ikkatsu voice.
Normally this wouldn't be an issue, but it's been a month since we've done voice acting.
Yeah, that's fair.
Again, this is why I have a gallon of green tea next to me.
Yes, which means you can keep going.
Maybe. I'm gonna try. I don't like how I read that last line, so I'm gonna give that one another go. And here I thought you'd improved. What have you been doing these past 2.5 years, boy? There we go. The raw impact of his strike nearly makes my heart stop. Ikkatsu drives the heel of his palm into my chest. The pain is almost unbearable. He's thrown me around, nearly strangled me, pinned me to the ground, and beaten me to a pulp. The order makes little difference. He's putting me through literal hell. Even should I pass out, he forces me awake for another round of his nightmarish routine of throws, punches, and chokeholds. The training he used to put me through on a daily basis was much like this, too. Every single time I feared for my life. In moments of weakness, I would even beg for the sweet release of death. Yet despite all that, Ikkatsu remained my personal god. A wrathful, malevolent god whose existence could not be measured by the scope of human lives. Son, I recall you once telling me that you consider yourself to be a living dead. Ain't you jumping to some conclusions there? Ikkatsu spits the words out, towering over me. Even through the veil of my rapidly fading consciousness, I can still hear him finish that sentence. Did you think your emotions would completely vanish if you became a living dead? Now they do degrade, know that firsthand. With each new day, I drift farther and farther from the man I was. But I ain't lost myself just yet. Why do you think that is? I have no idea. Over 2 years have passed since Ikkatsu's death. If he really is a living dead as he claims, his emotions should have faded a long time ago. So how can he still seemingly retain his humanity? The answer is simple, boy. Even as my consciousness begins to fade, I can still faintly hear the prideful, booming echo of his voice. The greatest love man has ever known still burns in my chest! Yeah, for reference, the longest emotions are supposed to last is 2 weeks. Man's been himself for 2 years.
Yeah. Also, if you want to rest, I can do Ethica as well.
I'd appreciate that, actually.
Okay. We're heading for the old Odaiba district in a gray chameleon. Sitting next to me are Kiri and Mitsumin. You know, the three of us make for a pretty unusual lineup, don't you think? Now that you mention it, yes, a bit. Kiri's duties include overseeing living dead stalkers, so I'm sure she's actually spoken to Mitsumin before, but still. Are you two sisters, by the way? It has been weighing on my mind for a while now.
Well, yes, but actually no.
Oh, right. That's like a whole thing.
It is a very complicated thing.
Oh, right. Mitsumin doesn't know much about our history. Well, where do I even begin? I suppose we are kind of like sisters, in a way. When I was still alive, I wanted us to be a couple. But I never voiced those feelings. Not once. Because I was serious about it. And unloading all that on Kiri would have only put her in a difficult spot. You see, my mom died when I was little. But Major General Kiba Nohara, who used to be an acquaintance of hers, agreed to take me in. That's how I met Ethica. We were raised as sisters despite not being related by blood. We're still on very good terms, of course. I see. She talks about our relationship like a thing of the past. My senses may have dulled, but the tinge of pain I feel in my heart is all too real.
Momo, can you come in here, please? Because it's just me and Lux.
Itsumin falls into a deep silence. Maybe she's thinking about her brother.
Okay, Momo. Well, we won't force you. I'm glad to see that you're here, regardless.
We continue down the road. Soon enough, we spot a glimpse of the sea to our right. The winter cold is particularly fierce out here at Tokyo Bay. In the distance looms the Tokyo megafloat, emitting a faint green light. Right, I nearly forgot. Wanna hold on to this, Mitsumin? Huh? Oh, this is. I hand her a, I hand her a thermokarambit, the very same knife Rorschach wielded against us. I felt like it would come in handy, so I kinda just helped myself to it. Shoshimaru's still being repaired, right? Right. Shoshimaru's blade was broken in one of her earlier battles, and it still hasn't been fully repaired. The technology behind the advanced swordsmith program that used to forge it has long since been lost to the ages, meaning that any attempts at repairing the blade will require quite a bit of time and effort. Sue is currently doing her best to try and fix it alongside Soon's damaged X-brain. Oh, but I'm not gonna force it on you if you already have another weapon in mind. No. This'll do. As Mitsumin grips the hilt, the blade of the thermokarambit lights up in faint crimson. Faint crimson. Oh no, I Ryoko as well. Ryoko's already waiting
Everybody.
for us. Everybody! Ryoko's already waiting for us when we climb out of the gray chameleon. Ethica. Ryoko walks over to greet me. She seems plenty nervous, but who wouldn't be in a situation like this? Milgram's amphibious assault ship is about to duke it out against the Empire Energy Corp's advanced Aegis system. In other words, we're going straight into the lion's den. I brought Mitsumin along, by the way. She's pretty adamant about joining the team.
Are you serious?
Hi.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that was a perfect time to join.
Wild. You're
Sorry I'm
alive.
late.
Might as well go back to that line then.
Sure. Ugh, are you serious?
Tokitaka's the first to react.
Oh no, absolutely not. 255% no. I refuse to be locked up in a tight space with someone like her.
What? Needless to say, the second to react is Mitsumin. You're being unreasonable here, Ichihara. This is neither the time nor the place for petty squabbles.
Oh really? Then let me ask you this. Has your hostility toward me just been for show? Was it so superficial that you'd be able to just up and discard it depending on the circumstances?
Nonsense. Of course not.
Right. Then drop out.
Huh? Have you no shame? If someone really must drop out, it ought to be you.
Why me?
When the Karasuzumi Living Dead Stalker Agency and the Kijo Living Dead Stalker Agency formed an alliance, we agreed on some terms. Do you remember them? The one to deliver the finishing blow to Milgram shall be none other than me, Kijo Mitsumi. There's an extremely high likelihood that Milgram is aboard that ship. It only makes sense for me to be part of the infiltration team. Itsumin's made her case, and it's rock solid if you ask me. In response,
Well, I suppose you're right.
Tokitaka concedes almost immediately. Huh?
You've made a convincing point. I'll let you take my place on the team.
Are you certain?
Our submarine can only take 4 passengers at most. We'll need 2 open seats for Soen and Iria, which means only 2 of us can go.
Naturally, Tokitaka was also one of the candidates to be on the team. But his specialty is long-range support, not close-quarters encounters. Go out for wool and come home shorn, I think was the expression. If we're gonna bring along someone, it might as well be the one who's an expert in melee combat. That's why I wanted to stop by Mitsumin's place before coming here. Tokitaka realized that as well, and decided to bow out with grace. For some reason, he's really good at knowing his place when it comes to stuff like this.
Just so we're on the same page, I haven't chickened out. I'm simply looking at this in terms of the mission success rate.
I wonder how he'd feel about it if he knew that Ikkatsu was over there. Considering, his life's mission was to kill him.
Ooh. Yeah.
And Lux, so his life's mission was to kill Ikkatsu, and to that end, he went to Ikkatsu to have him train him.
Oh.
And told Ikkatsu that the reason he wants the training is so he can kill him. And Ikkatsu just laughed and was like, hell yeah, let's do it then.
Damn, that's kind of an amazing backstory. I love that.
Yeah, we like Ikkatsu and we hate Ikkatsu. Kind of the same as everyone who has dealt with him.
I see. I know. We'll provide you with all the support we can. Ryoko can handle herself in a fight better than most, but there's still no way we'd ever bring her right into the heart of the enemy's lair.
Especially when her husband is there.
Who's her husband?
Ikkatsu.
Ikkatsu?
Oh! Alright. Goes for Kirei. Ethica. Come back safe and sound, okay? Oh, I will. I'm not going on that ship to die. I'm gonna live my life to the fullest, for as long as I can. I still can. And I've got absolutely no intention of making Kiri cry. Behind Kiri, I spot the... How do you pronounce that?
Good question. That's the first time I've seen that word.
Okay.
Cetus.
Cetus is what I would have gone with, yeah.
Kyol in chat's also agreeing. Okay.
Greek.
Behind Kiri, I spot the Cetus, the small stealth submarine provided by the military police.
That's typo.
Its dark hull? Yeah. Its dark hull peeks out from beneath the waters of Tokyo Bay like the body of a whale. I promptly hopped into the pilot seat. Mitsumin, what's wrong? Well, you see... She awkwardly fidgets about while mumbling a few incoherent words.
Mitsumin has some amazing faces.
Yeah. It doesn't look like she wants to board the submarine. Like, at all. You're not good with boats? That's not it. It's just that... How do I put this? Looking for all the world like she's about to dive into an active volcano, Itsumi yells at the top of her lungs. I cannot swim! You what? I nearly drowned once, alright? I've steered clear of water ever since. She almost sounds like she's proud of it. I doubt she intended to come across that way, of course. But man, maybe I should have brought Tokitaka along after all. Just as I'm about to seriously reconsider my choice of teammate. To hell with it. Whoa, easy there. Calm down. It keeps swaying, and it won't stop. Yeah! Nakoka! She calls out Solon's name. Man, that dumbass sure is one lucky guy. You okay, Mitsumin? I am. I'm perfectly fine. I have to go. I need to do this. I guess I should have realized this earlier, but it sure looks like Mitsumin's more focused on saving Son than defeating Milgram.
The fact that Mitsumin's desire for Son basically is doomed by the existence of Iria is really funny, though.
Is Iria legal?
Yes.
Okay. Poor Mitsumin. The central hot zone prevents the formation of large ice floes in Tokyo Bay. Only small, fragmented pieces litter the surface of the water. Our submarine drifts through the blue depths unobstructed.
Asking is Iria legal is funny, considering that there's a certain disaster woman who that question is a lot more like apt for.
Okay. She just kind of looks, you know. I don't know.
No, I know, and it's also in the way she acts too, a little bit.
Yeah.
Grown ass woman acting like that.
She's also like incredibly sheltered, though.
guess that's fair.
Meanwhile, we look at Konsu, and she and Iria are the same age.
Is that the computer girl?
Yes.
Not the computer girl. Oh, okay.
The one whose house/shop is just entirely computers and garbage, and her basement is a creepy sex dungeon autopsy room. Yeah.
She's just like me for real.
Its stealth function seems to be doing its job too. Milgram's ship has yet to pick up on our presence. The bottom of the sea is ominously quiet. I could say it's the calm before the storm. The sewage that's been dumped into Tokyo Bay over the years doesn't exactly do wonders for visibility either. No wonder I'm feeling so antsy. Can't even imagine how an aquaphobe like Mitsumin must feel right now. So, I'm just gonna assume you don't have an internal oxygen circulation device either. I don't. Should have known. I'm pretty sure most living dead stalkers have one, though. It's a fairly routine surgery, all in all. Boy, am I kicking myself right now for not getting some effervescent suspension with oxygen microparticles.
Through context, I think I know what that means, but just in case. Video game? Dissolves oxygen particles into the bloodstream to allow for long-term activity in oxygenless environments. Yeah, okay. That's exactly what I thought.
Heads up. It's about to start. We get a transmission from Yoko, alongside some video footage. Did we just hijack a feed from the Empire Energy Corp? Seems like it. We can see their mobile armored vehicles getting deployed at the port of Yokosuka, near the edge of Tokyo Bay. It's an area that's mostly been abandoned to snow and decay following the war. Their armor plating, which boasts the signature green and white of Empire Energy, comes equipped with electromagnetic railguns. Electromagnetic railguns? If Soun or Tokitaka were here, I'm sure they'd be able to give a more detailed explanation. Alas, the person I'm paired with right now... Is everything okay, Mitsumin? Mitsumin? Huh? What is it? God, she's so hopeless. I direct my gaze back at the screen. There's a bunch of flying bird-like things, several water boats, and even a couple of those whatchamacallits that swim like manta rays. If I had my X-brain turned on, it would probably dump a whole bunch of info on me, which frankly sounds like a major pain in the ass. Someone else can handle the jargon-heavy exposition. I bet Tokitaka would start reading out all the numerical specs of these things like the goddamn nerd he is. As I'm busy imagining that, the suicide wannabes launch their counterattack. I can see a whole bunch of missiles being shot out from the ship. Are those intelligent cluster bombs? They break off into several pieces, causing one explosion after another. We first see a flash of light blot out the screen, and then comes a delayed impact. Yeah. Itsumi shrieks like a terrified schoolgirl. The glass of the submarine shakes, but I'm pretty sure something like this isn't enough to actually break it. On the screen, we see the effects of that attack just now. It got more than half their units, but there's still plenty more to keep analyzing the enemy. An army of mobile armored vehicles lines up at the shores of the mega float before promptly beginning their attack. They're accompanied by battery cars that supply them with electricity.
I'm sorry, did you just say accompanied?
Did I? Oops. Maybe. Sorry, sometimes I pronounce some words weird. I can do it again. Accompanied, right?
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
it's just I normally I wouldn't point it out like that, but like that.
No, it's okay. You know, I'm not a. This is my second language, but I appreciate it. It's okay.
I don't want to make a committee out of this, but you know.
No, it's okay. I sometimes say stuff weird.
Which I'm not sure if I've explained what make a committee out of comes from. So my model mama, Shiro, when I first started doing this, she actually joined me for these streams, and English is very much her second language as well. And when we were reading Chaos Child, anytime the word committee showed up, she would read it as comedy.
Okay, yeah.
It took a while for us to fix that. And so whenever that kind of thing happens again, as I try to not hammer it into the ground, therefore I try not to make a committee out of it.
Alright, I see.
Unfortunately, by explaining all this now, I have in fact made a committee out of this.
Like I said, it's okay. Sometimes I pronounce some stuff weird because, I guess I just don't really, I don't know, encounter words like that usually.
Fair enough.
Or just like read them, you know, in silent reading, right? So I can say whatever, but yeah.
You have to admit that Divine Committee sounds kind of hard.
What?
Divine Comedy. Dante's... Yeah.
Oh, yeah, oh, that's great. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, well. Damn. Alright. The shots they fire soar through the air towards the amphibious assault ship at mind-boggling speeds. The Hawaii attempts to intercept the attack with, what's it called again? A bubble shield? Yeah, I think that's it. It senses enemy attacks and immediately deploys an airbag-like barrier for protection. It doesn't prove all that effective though. The Empire Energy Corps lands more than a few successful hits on the Hawaii. The electromagnetic railguns are nothing if not accurate, destroying the ship's weapons and propulsion systems with calculated precision. As a result, the Hawaii is rendered virtually defenseless, which is all fine and good, but aren't they overdoing it a little? They aren't planning to actually sink it, right? Damn, I'm getting a little worried over here. Alright, a break.
My limbs are no longer bound. The only thing preventing my escape was a single electronically locked door. But I'm not moving an inch. My body feels heavy. I can't even stand up. I did just get devastated in a physical sense. That's certainly part of the reason. More than anything else, though, I find myself mentally defeated. Karasuzumi Ikkatsu is my former mentor. In life, he was already a bastion of unbelievable strength. And now, I can't even imagine a scenario where I'd be able to topple him. Assuming I escaped through that door, what could I possibly do against him? He said something about the greatest love man has ever known. It's apparently prevented him from losing his emotions. I've no way of telling how much of that is actually true. He does still seem to possess very strong emotions, though. That much is undeniable. The love he felt for Ryoko was immense. And yet, as warped as it may have been, his love knew no equal. They say even the most skilled necromancer can only prevent the degradation of their creation's feelings for about 2 weeks at most. Rationally thinking, there's no way Ikkatsu could still retain his memories after 2.5 years. It seems more plausible to assume that his claim is simply the result of the clever mimicry hi-fis are known for. I understand all that, but the wheels in my brain continue to turn. What would happen if you combine the skills of a top-class necromancer like Milgram with the unimaginably powerful love harbored by Ikkatsu? Could that result in something that would exceed all expectations? Something that would allow Ikkatsu to maintain his emotions even in death? If there's anyone capable of pulling off a feat like that, it's him, my god. And yet, my god died. He joined Milgram as one of his undead minions. I was probably too conceited. 2.5 years have passed since Ikkatsu's death. The helpless rookie I used to be grew up to become one of the most prominent living dead stalkers in Tokyo. I didn't expect it to be easy, but I was confident I could finally give Ikkatsu an even match. And yet, here I am now, broken in both body and spirit. I need to rescue Iria and get off this ship. I have to make it back home alive. But do I really have the strength to accomplish all that? An ear-splitting explosion roars out, making me almost believe that the entire room's been blown open. The impact sends a violent tremor through the ship, causing me to slide across the floor. Who's doing this? The members of the Karasuzumi agency may be skilled, but not even the combined power of 20 of Tokitaka's rifles could cause an explosion of this caliber. Is it the military police, then? Unlikely. They only have their vultures, and don't generally possess any weaponry that could inflict this level of damage to a battleship. There's only one possibility left. The Empire Energy Corp. Looking out the window, I see several vultures soaring through the sky. Their hulls are painted a different color compared to the gunships employed by the military police, making it clear that they belong to the Empire Energy Corp. I believe they're officially called Oppenheimers. Jesus Christ, are they gonna nuke us? Several soldiers geared up in white combat suits drop down from the gunships. There's about 50 of them all in all. They're wearing reinforced combat suits over their already augmented bodies, allowing them to safely drop down even from a 200-meter height. They land on the deck of the ship without the use of any ropes or parachutes. I look away from the window. To my luck, that earlier attack damaged the interior of the ship. It disabled the electronic lock of my cell, giving me a clear path of escape. Should I leave, though? I don't have my X-brain. My re-eliminators have been taken, and the micro-portable printer no longer works. Exploring the ship with no gear while there's a battle going on doesn't sound like the wisest of decisions. Come on, Soen, what would Solid Snake do? The assault team of the Empire Energy Corp has begun its sweep of the area. This is my chance. I shouldn't waste it. There's no time to hesitate. I have to do this. That's what I keep telling myself. Ignoring my unfavorable odds, I dash for the exit and leave the cell behind me. I suddenly run into a lo-fi wielding a Tokarov handgun. Not waiting for my sense of balance to fully return, I rush down the gently swaying corridor and swiftly close the distance between myself and the lo-fi. I twist his neck from behind and send his head tumbling to the floor with a hard, audible thud. He hasn't completely thawed out yet. Reminds me how much effort goes into preserving undead bodies. In creating a large number of lo-fis, keeping them in cold storage is considered the most efficient method. Milgram must have kept a whole army of them on this ship. If the entire ship is this cold, that means the place is crawling with living dead. I use the Tokarev I took from that earlier lo-fi to repel the incoming horde of ghouls. My first shot misses, but the second one hits one in the shoulder. The third one's a headshot, but immediately afterwards my barrel gets jammed. Cheap piece of crap! Quickly pulled on the slide to try and get the used shell casing out. But the next lo-fi is faster. He slashes at me with a knife, which I deflect with a kick. This doesn't stop him, though, as he desperately tries to latch onto my arm. Using his momentum against him, I hurl the lo-fi aside like a sack of potatoes. The next corpse to rush into the corridor ends up grabbing my leg. Lo-fis possess little to no intelligence, but what they lack in cunning, they make up for in raw physical strength. His rotting fingers nearly rip apart from the sheer pressure of his own vice-like grip. I kick him in the head and free my ankle, but the other lo-fi I hurled aside earlier comes back with renewed vigor, once again throwing himself at me. More and more living dead arrive. They multiply faster than I can take them out. This is exactly the kind of situation no stalker ever wants to find himself in. Unfortunately, it still happens all too often. At times like this, I can't just focus on the enemy immediately in front of me. The trick is not to look for a way to defeat your foes. Instead, search for a way to not be defeated yourself. Efficiency is key. Precise and well-coordinated actions for the sake of carving open the path to survival. This philosophy is what constitutes the very core of anti-living dead warfare, and I myself have overcome many a life-threatening situation through abiding by it. Alongside my ex-brain. A sudden wave of fear assails my senses. I feel almost like someone who's just realized he's stark naked in the middle of a crowded street. Have I really been picking the most efficient courses of action? One lo-fi has grabbed onto my leg. Another has my arm in its grip. I'm shoved to the ground and can feel the weight of countless dead bodies as they keep piling on top of me. All I can do is struggle and squirm around as more and more undead faces...
Yeah, that sounds right.
Sorry about that. All I can do is struggle and squirm around as more and more undead faces continue to fill my vision. My bulletproof vest should be able to withstand some of the pressure, but without my X-brain, my face is completely exposed and defenseless. I twist my torso to the side just in time to avoid a rusty knife that a lo-fi brings down on me. Even as I do this, I receive several blows to my chest, left knee, right shoulder, and temple. The magnetic liquid armor covering my body is slowly being torn apart. With all the lo-fis piling on top of me, it becomes difficult to even breathe. It's overwhelming. At this rate, if I don't find a way out, I'll... Suddenly, I feel something wet and gooey against my cheeks. What I witnessed next is like something out of a nightmare. A half-rotten eyeball falls out of its socket as the decaying flesh around it melts and drips down like tears. And it's not just one lo-fi either. All the living dead on top of me start literally dissolving one by one. What in the world is going on? Surrounded by a puddle of rancid, liquefied flesh, I finally struggle to my feet. It's sad. A group of soldiers covered in white combat armor move through the area, exterminating lo-fis in a swift and orderly fashion. Wild?
Oh, is that me now? Okay.
It's been you for a bit.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Split up and search for the target in groups. Be quick and efficient.
Their leader, a man with a mean glare, seems to completely ignore me. Even a stray dog by the side of the road would get more recognition. It gives me a clear idea of what he thinks about those living in mainland Tokyo. His behavior is stereotypical of the energy elites inhabiting the Tokyo megafloat. I know where Iria is. The moment I address him, the man stops in his tracks. If killing Milgram was their only aim, they could have just bombed the entire ship to oblivion. The fact that they deployed SAD for an interior sweep can only mean they're looking to rescue someone. And that someone is Hogyo Iria. One of the soldiers that split off from the group to sweep the area gets mowed down by a heavily armed living dead. He's been shot in the neck at point-blank range. There's no saving him. The other soldiers rush into the room and fill the creature with bullets. It immediately collapses to the floor and melts into a puddle of ooze. But for each living dead felled, countless more emerge to take its place. I can't afford to be particular about my methods right now.
Where is she exactly? And how do I know I can trust you?
Lend me a gun. I can't accomplish my objective on my own. I mustn't reveal all my cards so easily.
You're Nagaoka Son of the Karasazumi Living Dead Stalker Agency, correct?
I nod in affirmation. Considering the amount of living dead on the ship, Milgram likely had some plans of his own. SAD, too, probably wants this mission over and done with as soon as possible. I don't feel entirely comfortable working with the same people that kept Iria locked up at the Ikebukuro CPC, but they're my only option now, and beggars can't be choosers. You know we both want the same thing here.
Very well.
The man walks over to the soldier that got gunned down earlier by that heavily armed living dead. He takes the rifle out of his hands, aims it at the wound in his neck, and pulls the trigger without hesitation. He then hands that very same rifle over to me.
I'm Yamanuma Kagekatsu, the head of the Empire Energy Corp Special Activities Division.
By the time Yamanuma finishes introducing himself, his former subordinate has already dissolved into a pool of blood and gooey flesh.
Hot damn. After mooring our submarine, both Mitsumin and I step onto the deck of the Hawaii. We see a landed Oppenheimer gunship surrounded by the corpses of SAD soldiers and several living dead. Man, what a massacre. Milgram, you snake. He must have been preparing for this a while now. Could be. I have no personal beef with Sad, but it's gonna be a pain if they find us here. If we want to get this thing over with as quickly as possible, I can't be stubborn about using my X-Brain. Alright, let's kick this party into full gear.
I know that... Okay. I'm just gonna come right out and say it. Ethica needs to be a lot more gung-ho, a lot more enthusiastic about stuff.
Okay, even more?
Yeah. Alright, let's kick this party into full gear! Kinda, you know? Like, she's hyping herself up.
Alright. This line again?
Yes.
Alright, let's kick this party into full gear. In the distance, I spot a lowered elevator leading to the aircraft hangar. Looks like a prime way to infiltrate the ship. We quickly make our way across the deck while keeping our heads low, then jump down the gaping shaft. Ugh. I land on something oddly sticky. The entire floor is covered in this strange dark liquid. Is this blood? I see a whole bunch of these darkish red puddles between the corpses of sad soldiers. It's not just blood, there seems to be bits of melted flesh mixed in too. Kibanohara. I know. There's no wind blowing, only the snow keeps falling in through the vertical elevator shaft. The light pouring in from the outside creates a contrast with the gloom that dominates the interior of the hangar. And in that darkness, I can make out... an entire horde of the living dead closing in on us from all angles. This'll do for a warm-up. I ready my shotgun. We mustn't waste too much time. The thermokarambit lights up in Mitsumin's hand. We put our backs to each other for a brief moment and then it's go time. Once my X-Brain gives me permission to fire, I unload my shotgun on the bastards. Feeling the kick of that all too familiar recoil against my arm, I re-eliminate every single living dead that rushes at me. Back in the city, I rarely ever get the chance to use this bad boy. I mean, imagine firing a shotgun in the streets. I could end up accidentally damaging some pipes, which wouldn't just be hazardous, they'd also hit me with a hefty fine. In here, though, I can totally apeshit with this thing. Girls gotta appreciate the small things in life, you know? Or at least I should, but for some reason. I'm just really not feeling this. I wonder why that is. Whoa. Oh shit. I got so lost in thought I nearly hit Mitsumin.
Also, for a second, that was a brand new Mitsumi sprite. From behind with the thermokarambit.
Man, that was a close one. Almost turned her into Swiss cheese. Watch where you're firing. Sorry. Mitsumin's using a weapon she's probably not entirely used to, and yet her suit is still pristine white. There's not a single drop of blood on it. Even ignoring the fact that her thermokarambit can burn straight through flesh, Mitsumin's outside school sure is something else. I can also see what people mean when they say it favors practicality. Our backs touch again and then it's time for round 2. More and more lo-fi shamble out of the dark, right into my line of fire. I keep spraying bullets at them with eagerness of a Girl Scout handing out free cookies. My body feels pretty good. And so does the gun in my hand. But then, why do I have this strange feeling that something's... Shouldn't that be obvious? I keep on firing my shotgun. Blasts ring out again and again. But they're not enough to drown out all the too composed voice deep inside. Because it's also me. I'm no different from them. I'm just as dead. Oh, fuck this! If you think I'm gonna kick the bucket in a place like this, think again. I ran out of ammo mid-yell. I didn't notice the X-Brains pop up and kept pulling the trigger in vain. The lo-fis used that as an opening to try and overwhelm me. No time to reload. Instead, I snatch an assault rifle from one of the dead SAT soldiers on the ground. Right before I can pull the trigger though, the lo-fis advancing at me are gunned down. It wasn't me though, and certainly not Mitsumin. A heavily armed living dead lumbers into view. When he fired his 12.7mm caliber heavy machine gun, some of the lo-fis got caught in the crossfire. I dodged his attacks and fired back with my newly acquired rifle. The bullets hit him, but ended up doing little to no actual damage to his heavily fortified metallic body. Goddamn pea shooter! I throw the useless piece of junk at the heavily armed living dead. He immediately shoots it out of the air and destroys it. That little distraction gave me just the opening I need. Whoa! I take out the rabbit punch and rush towards the creature, dodging fire from its heavy machine gun as I approach.
Okay, you do the war cries better than Crystal does.
Oh, thanks. Ah! Huh? You fucking kidding me here? Are you seriously telling me to ditch my weapon and retreat? Screw that. I'm gonna get his ass. The fucker bit into my chainsaw. His rotten teeth sink into the guide bar and refuse to let go. The ultra-hard, fully crystalline diamond blade eats into the bastard's ugly face, but it's not nearly enough to actually take him down. He grabs onto my fluttering hair with his left hand and holds me up into the air. I consider cutting my hair to free myself, but the hi-fi still won't let go of the chainsaw. He shoves his heavy machine gun right into my face. I can feel the heat from his gun against my cheeks, but my body doesn't even twitch. If I were still alive, there's no way I could keep my cool like this. Hibanohara! Mitsumina attempts to rush over to help, but she's not gonna make it here in time. So, what am I gonna do now? Do I reveal the latest ace up my sleeve? Guess I might as... Wait, did he just grin at me? That can't be. Living dead possess no emotions. They're not exactly the smiling type, to say the least. He suddenly lets go of my hair, as his entire body begins to gradually dissolve into dark, gooey liquid. It's almost like a sped-up time-lapse video. I watch in silence as his flesh unravels before my very eyes. In a span of less than 10 seconds, his massive frame has melted away completely, leaving only his metallic parts and the large machine gun he used to wield. What ultimately remains of him is a dark puddle on the floor, one that looks just like all the others we've seen across the hangar.
I make my way down the tight corridor with Yamanuma and his men in tow. Whenever a stray ghoul pops up, they gun it down immediately. The It takes about 15 seconds on average from the time the bullet hits a target until it begins to liquefy.
We call it the scavenger.
Ah, okay. We only really knew about scavenger and the other two routes because of Sophia telling Ethica to go get it when Milgram had already invaded. In one route it gets destroyed and doesn't get to even be used. The other, it stops the undead material from happening.
So it all comes together, huh?
This is the first time we're actually seeing it be used for its intended purpose, yeah.
Oh, right. It was created by genetically enhancing bacteria that decomposes necrotic tissue. It's harmless to living organisms with a functioning immune system. However, when it comes in contact with dead flesh, it only needs a dozen or so seconds to completely dissolve it.
Precisely the kind of weapon a company with advanced biotechnology like the Empire Energy Corp would develop. The effects are rapid and aggressive. These bullets should easily revolutionize anti-living dead warfare should they ever be mass-produced. Having said that... Oh. It was a woman one this time. Oh well. Lux, give us your best zombie groan. Good enough. A lo-fi jumps out at us from a blind spot, wielding nothing but a shoddily made Tokarev. The sad troops quickly take her out with a few scavenger shots, but the bullets themselves don't actually have much stopping power. The several seconds needed for the scavenger to kick in is just enough time for the living dead to do some potential damage. Even as her chest begins to dissolve, the lo-fi loses none of her momentum and levels her gun at the unhappy soldier. Aim for her pelvis! The sad soldier obeys my command without delay. He's trained enough to recognize the correct course of action. He quickly pulls out his sidearm and fires off 3 consecutive shots at the lo-fi's waist. The creature falls over before she can latch onto the soldier's neck. She continues trying to crawl toward him, but it's too late. The scavenger kicks in and her entire body melts away.
That was it. Okay. The existence of the living dead may be an affront to conventional biology, but not even they are exempt from the fundamental laws of physics.
Oh god damn it, no, that was so.
Is that you? Oh, okay.
But that sounded like a Yamanuma thing to say.
Yeah, I get you.
The existence of the living dead may be an affront to conventional biology, but not even they are exempt from the fundamental laws of physics. As such, destroying the pelvis will rob them of the means to support their own bodies.
I see.
Yamanuma makes a grim nod. The SAD unit may be composed of a hand-picked group of well-trained professionals, but their experience in live combat against the living dead is probably lacking at best. No doubt there are plenty of things I could teach them. It's not easy entrusting yourself to a complete stranger on the battlefield, especially when lives are at stake. On the other hand, even the smallest wavering of trust can lead to a delay in decision-making. As such, it's vital that a relationship of mutual trust be established in combat situations, even between parties who've only known each other for a short period of time.
How can you tell which way to go?
I spat on Milgram earlier.
You spat on him?
There's a special substance implanted into my molars. The chemical reaction it creates upon coming in contact with the air produces steroids. I speedily make my way down the stairs, keeping my nose honed on that particular scent. I didn't lie to Yamanuma. I'm not going to be of any less use to him if I explain my methods. Being open is the first step to establishing mutual trust.
I'm not smelling anything, though.
I've been trained since a young age to be able to pick up on that scent. Besides, the human sense of smell varies greatly from person to person. The receptors responsible for it are largely decided by one's genetic sequence. For example, 50% of adults are unable to smell androstenone.
I see.
It's all thanks to Ikkatsu. Upon seeing the results of my examination and realizing how exceptional my sense of smell was, he trained me to make it as keen as physically possible. The X-Brain may be a highly advanced weapon, but at the end of the day, when push came to shove, Ikkatsu believed it was your own body that truly mattered. As a result of that belief, every single member of the Karasuzumi Living Dead Stalker Agency received intense training, such that they would be able to survive even in extreme conditions where they couldn't rely on any of their implants. I continue leading the way as the sad soldiers follow me from behind. While we suffer numerous surprise attacks along the way, our scavengers make swift work of the lo-fi hordes. We press ever deeper into the ship.
What's wrong?
The scent has become stronger than before. Milgram likely turned around at some point.
Securing Hogyo Iria remains our top priority. Once she is rescued, we shall recommence our attack on the ship.
I see. They're planning to bury Milgram along with his ship. A bold move befitting of the Empire Energy Corp. They could have easily killed Milgram anytime they wished. The reason they didn't is simple. Rescuing Hogyo Iria is that important to them. I might as well ask Yamanuma about it. Why are you so desperate to capture Iria?
For the sake of the Tokyo Rebirth Project.
His answer is quick and to the point.
In order for mankind to overcome this accursed ice age and begin a new era of prosperity, Hogyo Iria's cooperation is indispensable.
And what's this Tokyo Rebirth Project even about? What does it have to do with Iria? Why was she... Yamanuma answers before I can even finish the question.
We plan to make a public announcement regarding the Ikebukuro CPC incident. Our CEO, Sophia Kawarazaki, was not aware of the atrocities committed during those years. In addition, we will explain the particulars of the Tokyo Rebirth Project as well.
Are you serious?
You are free to remain skeptical.
Yamanuma stares into my eyes while maintaining a rigid poker face. I take a good, careful look at his face. Ethica's feminine intuition might have come in handy here, but sadly I possess nothing of the sort. Is that meant to be a sentimental request?
A product of behavioral economics, more like.
Mutual cooperation will result in the most beneficial outcome. An understandable way of thinking. After giving Yamanuma a curt nod, I point out the door that the scent has led me to. Yamanuma orders his men to destroy the electronic lock, which they do, quite loudly in fact. Once the door is open, we make our way inside. We find ourselves in what used to be an armory. As the Hawaii isn't currently in active use, we don't spot any actual weapons in the warehouse. Instead, what we do see is a lone girl. Iria!
Son!
She tries to stand up despite her limbs being bound. I help her stand and allow the sad soldiers that file into the room to remove the shackles from her arms and neck.
Son! Where are we? And how did I...
I'll explain later. We need to get out of here first. That voice is the last thing I want to hear right now. But I'm not gonna plug my ears. I'll face him head on. I have to. Don't think I'm gonna let you slip away that easily, Soun. Karasazumi Ikkatsu, the man I admired as a god.
Do it.
The sad soldiers in the room all ready their rifles. No matter how physically powerful Ikkatsu may be, he's still undead. And as such, the scavenger should dissolve his body like it did all the others. Ikkatsu tears the thick door of the armory off its hinges and uses it as a makeshift shield. He advances on the sad soldiers with the power of a full-speed truck and sends them flying. He crushes all three of them at once, staining their snow-white combat suits with crimson. Who's next? Visibly panicked, the sad soldier next to me aims his rifle at my former mentor, but ends up having his skull smashed in by the heavy door that Ikkatsu so effortlessly wields with only one hand. Iria averts her gaze as the gruesome massacre unfolds before her. Even in life, Ikkatsu was a warrior to be reckoned with. In death, he has now become even more fearsome than ever before. The remaining sad troops hurriedly open fire at him, but Ikkatsu dodges every single one of their bullets with agility unbefitting his heavy, towering frame. I watch as Yamanuma's men are slaughtered one after the other. I take a deep breath and steel my resolve. Yamanuma.
You have 5 minutes.
He can tell what I'm about to propose. Out of everyone in this room, I have the most experience when it comes to fighting Ikkatsu. What's more, allowing Iria to safely escape is our topmost priority. In other words, our interests are currently aligned.
Son?
Iria addresses me fearfully. Her voice tears into my heart. I want to go with her. I really do. But that's simply not an option right now. You need to go on without me.
But I only got to see you, and now...
I'll catch up to you. I promise. I make sure not to turn back. It would only weaken my resolve, and make it plain to see that not even I am confident in my own success.
Son?
We have to go.
Yamanuma grabs Iria by the hand and starts pulling her away. Covering for their leader, the remaining sad troops begin their retreat as well. Ikkatsu and I are the only ones left in the armory. A hollow, foreboding stillness hangs over the room. Good, good. With all them distractions gone, we can finally get this party started for real. I'm ready. I check my equipment. Including a spare magazine, I have a total of 40 scavenger bullets left. And no X-Brain to help me. Including the time I'll need to escape, I'm looking at an upper limit of 4 minutes. Once I land a shot, I'll just have to hold out for another 15 seconds. That about sums up the rules for this fight. Still. Can I really pull it off? I feel a drop of sweat trickle down my back.
Out of my way, losers! Feeling energized, I've run and gun my way through the hordes of lo-fis. In both hands, I'm holding assault rifles I snatched from the corpses of some sad soldiers. The bullets don't seem to immediately do anything to the lo-fis, but strangely enough, as soon as I kick them aside, they fall over and melt away like ice cream on a hot summer day. Scavenger, huh? My ex-brain pulls up some info on a similar weapon from the depth of its database. Simply put, it decomposes dead flesh. These things are gonna put us out of business. Yeah. Mitsumi makes a troubled expression. Man, I cannot believe these stingy bastards at the Empire Energy Corp kept these babies to themselves. How typical. If confronted about it, they'd probably go on about how they're still in development and too dangerous to be handed over to the public or whatever. At any rate, these scavengers sure make it easy to explore the ship. They're overpowered as all hell. I'm not even feeling any excitement from mowing down these ghouls. Still, getting through the sad troops while trying to find Soun and Iria on this labyrinth of a ship isn't exactly a cakewalk. I looked up some schematics beforehand just to be on the safe side, but it seems Amachi Juichiro made some renovations. The actual interior is pretty different compared to what I had expected. Kibanohara. Mitsumin peeks into one of the cabins and calls me over. The inside of the room is pretty barren, except for the pair of re-eliminators on the floor. Nagaoka. As Mitsumi picks up the guns, I place a hand on her shoulder. I gotta get these back to their rightful owner.
You might wish to hurry.
Mitsumi's reaction comes fast as lightning. She flies out the door without missing a beat.
Unless you want Nagaoka Soun to die, that is.
Burning with righteous indignation, Mitsumin is about to launch herself at Milgram, but I hold her back. Where is he?
In an armory a few decks below us. He's engaged in battle with Karasazumi Ikkatsu.
Ikkatsu? I have a really bad feeling about this.
I brought him back to life.
Huh? Mitsumin. I have to muster up all my remaining willpower to stifle my anger. But I managed to do it. Somehow. You know where that armory is, don't you? Go there. The Milgram's right here. Mitsumin! I still remember what it was like seeing Mitsumin's undead brother back at her agency. So I totally get why she wants Milgram's head on a pike. But we don't have time to argue. I'll deal with this asshole myself. Go. Please. Do it for Soun. Mitsumin hesitates. There's probably a million things whirling through her mind right now. But in the end, she nods and takes off with Soun's re-eliminators in hand. Good. And don't you look back now. You're still alive, and so is Soon. So fight for him. The living gotta stick together. I discard the said rifles and switch over to my trusty rabbit punch. It served me well over the years. The familiar sensation of its handle in my grip is all I need to get myself fired up.
Ultra hard polycrystalline diamond blade. She's probably gonna say it again at some point, because it comes up every single time she pulls it out.
I see. That jetpack jerk was your handiwork, right?
How did it feel to have your heart pierced by its magnetic whip?
Hurt like a bitch, let me tell you. Don't worry though. I'm gonna pay you back in full. Rabbit punch roars out. I swing its blade downward, only to be stopped by Milgram's side pistol. This goddamn corridor is way too tight. I won't be able to move around too much. Push forward or be pushed back. That's pretty much what this battle will come down to. There's nowhere to escape. I sense an attack, and quickly dodge backwards to evade it. Immediately afterwards, I hear a loud crash. Milgram's right arm, augmented by a high-temperature, superconducting motor, has crashed into the wall, leaving a massive dent in it. This is the power of his anti-armor suit, a prototype armor created by Eclipse Corp during the Sino-American War to be used by the US Army Special Operations Group. The thing possesses speed and destructive power capable of even taking out tanks and other armored vehicles with ease. This comes at a high price, though. The armor places an enormous burden on its wearer. Milgram has likely extensively augmented his body as a way to combat this. He's not quite a cyborg, but he's probably replaced most of his bones with cemented carbide?
Carbide.
Which should make him far more resilient than an average person.
I see your emotions haven't completely faded yet.
Yeah, I'm pretty pissed actually.
At me? At yourself? Or perhaps at Kibanohara Hokoyasu?
Don't you fucking dare say that name! I yell at him with all the rage I can work up. In contrast, he calmly fires back at me with his side pistol. I get hit in the stomach a couple times, but it doesn't bother me much. Even if my bulletproof vest fails to stop a bullet, it's not like a gunshot wound is gonna be anything to worry about with my undead body. Ah! I swing rabbit punch at Milgram with all the strength I can muster. He takes the blade head on and blocks it with his side pistol. Weapon presses against weapon with incredible power. Bright sparks spray forth. As I'm trying my best to find a way to break his deadlock, Milgram looks at me with a calm, undisturbed gaze. He watches and responds to my every move, denying me an opening.
I've wondered this for a while, but Milgram looks like he was drawn by a completely different artist. Like his face is a different style than everyone else. I'm not the only one who thinks that, right? He's got a very Shinkiro look to him.
I see what you mean. Lux, if you don't know who Shinkiro is, have you ever played the King of Fighters games?
No.
Okay. Crap. What else has Shinkiro done?
It's okay.
Oh, sorry. I'm trying to... He's got a very specific look.
Okay.
A lot of his character designs have been described as looking like George Clooney for some reason.
Alright.
The style is reminiscent of something akin to a almost photorealism.
Okay.
I wish I could get a picture for you, but I see what Naho is referring to, at least.
I'm glad you see it, Wild.
He does look like a Nest character.
He's not just strong, but disciplined as well. Annoyingly so. What pisses me off the most about the asshole is how in control he seems to be.
Did you trust your father?
Shut the fuck up.
How do you think I acquired Karasazumi Ikkatsu's corpse?
Hell if I know.
You already know the answer, don't you? Karasazumi Ikkatsu's body was given a military funeral, and the reason I managed to get my hands on it.
Shut the hell up! I briefly pull my chainsaw away, turn it around in my grip, and launch a powerful downward swing from above. Milgram blocks it by pulling both his arms in front of his face. The deadlock breaks. Still holding onto my chainsaw, I get thrust backwards down the corridor. Jesus fucking Christ! Just how strong is this guy? Try as I might, I'm not confident I can get the upper hand against him like this.
I must say, the Karasuzumi agency continues to surprise me.
The hell are you on about?
I'm talking about the unusually slow degradation of your emotions.
I finally realize why Milgram's gaze has been bothering me all this time. He's been admiring me like an art collector who's found a rare painting. All he's been doing is testing my strength without actually intending to finish me off. Does that include Ikkatsu as well?
Oh yes. It's quite astonishing, really. It's been 2.5 years since he died. Yet still, he continues to cling on to his love.
As someone who spent years living with Ryoko, I know more than anyone how much she still loves Ikkatsu. If they could somehow be reunited... Milgram's next word shattered the faint glimmer of hope I still had.
However, that love is the only thing he still has left. The situation has changed. I have a weapon now. One that's been specifically designed for anti-living dead combat. Ikkatsu's corpse may be well preserved, but that doesn't change the fact that he's dead. If I so much as land a single shot with my scavenger, all I have to do is wait 15 seconds and I win. The odds are overwhelmingly in my favor. Or so I thought. It soon becomes painfully clear how naive I've been. Back in the cell, I was ordered not to kill you. That's changed. Say your prayers, boy! The only answer I give him is a quick burst from my rifle. He doesn't so much as flinch. He lifts up the dead body of an SAD soldier from the floor and uses it to shield himself from my scavenger shots, before ultimately hurling the corpse right at me. I nimbly duck out of the body's way and fire another burst at Ikkatsu, who's already found himself a new corpse shield in the meantime. All my shots end up missing him. Seemingly moving at the speed of light, he delivers a fierce body blow and follows it up with a straight punch. I get blown away, but can tell he's not done with me yet. I blindly fire off a few bullets in his general direction. I manage to land on the ground with relative grace, but I'm still feeling somewhat dizzy and disoriented. For now, though, I just need to get back on my feet. Still half staggering on my feet, I continue frantically running through corridor after corridor. If he catches me, it's all over. I have 2 more minutes to shake off Ikkatsu and make it back to the upper deck. That's all I need to do. Re-eliminating him isn't technically necessary to... Are you afraid, son? His scolding tone freezes my legs in place. He's seen right through me. For as long as I can remember, I've looked up to Ikkatsu like he was a god. Are you that scared of killing me? I've endured these past 2.5 years. I clung onto my love as a way to retain my humanity. I don't want him to finish that sentence. I'm terrified of learning the truth. But all Ikkatsu does is let out that hearty laugh of his. Look at me. My cold, dead heart still burns with the most powerful, most intense love this planet has ever known. But here's the thing. I'm starting to forget who I'm even supposed to be in love with! I could tell. Ever since I first laid eyes upon him in that cell. Ikkatsu does certainly resemble the god I used to idolize. But that's all that it is. A resemblance. What's wrong, Soon? Ikkatsu died. Face me like a man! He's no longer my god. If you think you can kill me, then prove it! As Ikkatsu launches a roundhouse kick at my face, the rifle I used to block it is sent flying. It hits the wall and breaks to pieces, spilling all my remaining scavenger ammo on the floor. The impact of his attack sends me to my knees. I'm stuck in a dead end, with nowhere else to run. Then again, there's never been anywhere to run. Not from him. I calmly look Ikkatsu in the eye before finally posing him a question. Have you forgotten Ryoko? 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 Who is that? I don't remember. I finally understand how Mitsumi must have felt when she decided to live for the sake of prolonging her dead brother's unlife. I too would love to spend more time with Ikkatsu. I want him to return to being the god he used to be. But the man I admired is gone. He's become nothing more than a lingering wraith of the past. I'll put down whoever stands in the way of my love, be it god or wraith. For the sake of all my comrades at the Karasuzumi Living Dead Stalker Agency, for Hogyo Iria, and most of all, for Gijo Mitsumi. Our fists clash, but I end up effortlessly getting blown back. Compared to his muscular arms, mine are like that of a child. Unsurprisingly, he uses this opportunity to throw himself at me. My former god used to put me through this week after week. He'd pound me into the ground with such incredible force, and that'd be that. Game, set, match. My vision blurs as his left fist crashes into my face. I nearly black out as he drives his right fist into me. Then comes another left hook, and I can feel the very strength drain from my body. His right fist doesn't hit me. What? Ikkatsu watches in shock as his right hand dissolves into a dark, slimy liquid. When our fists clashed together earlier, I had one of the scavenger bullets from the floor hidden between my fingers. The bacteria ate into his exposed flesh, and now it's begun to rapidly consume him. Ikkatsu's visible dismay is proof that his emotions haven't completely faded just yet. I perform a bridge to free myself and start running down the hallway, though not without a decent bit of hesitation. I spot a nearby sad corpse with a handgun. If I'm to buy myself another 15 seconds, I'm going to need something with enough raw stopping power. The purpose this handgun should serve admirably enough. I snatch the gun off the corpse and promptly aim it at Ikkatsu. However, what happens next defies all my expectations. Ikkatsu grabs onto his partially discolored right arm and tears it clean off. I watch in horror as dusky red blood sprays out in a wide arc, splashing onto the nearby wall. His discarded right arm is quickly dissolved by the scavenger. Let's go, boy! We're only getting started! Plunging himself back into the battle, Ikkatsu flashes a wolfish grin. It almost seems as if he's ridiculing himself for having forgotten even Ryoko. I consider the time I still have left. It doesn't seem like I'll be able to keep my promise to Iria. And now, another swig of green tea.
Same way we've trained ourselves to be experts of anti-living dead warfare, Milgram has specialized himself in living dead stalkers like us. The bastard's fucking fast! I slash at him with Rabbit Punch to try and get the upper hand, but he effortlessly blocks it. The superconducting motor of his suit propels his arm into my chest at the speed of light. God, he's not letting up! Rabbit Punch lies near my feet after having been blown out of my grip. An idea hits me. Ah! Here goes nothing! Stretching my leg as far as I can, I hook my foot on the chainsaw's handle and send it flying towards Milgram with a kick. This makes him retreat and put some distance between us. Good thing I used to dabble in capoeira back in the day. Didn't expect it to come in handy at a time like this. Having said that, I'm not doing too hot, all in all. Milgram fights like a pro. I should be able to put up a better fight than this. Could it be that?
Little by little, your emotions have begun to degrade.
God, I wish this fucker would just quit his yapping already. I fire myself up as much as I can, but a part of me knows it's just an act. Milgram's probably right. I don't react to my X-Brain as fast as I used to. What took me 0.1 seconds yesterday is now taking me 0.2. My senses have dulled, and I no longer respond to threats the same way. In battle, that's enough to cost you your life.
The living dead are destined to lose their feelings. The first ones they shed are those that are of no longer use. The first ones they shed are those that are no longer of use to them. I wonder, which emotion will you retain until the very end?
His non-stop blabbering pisses me off to no end! Or at least, I think it does. It should.
I would have loved to welcome you into our ranks. But your master is Kibanohara Hokoyasu, is he not?
Shut the hell up! If you think you're so goddamn good, then come and get some, asshole!
Very well.
My chainsaw gets deflected with a sharp thwack and is sent flying across the corridor. Milgram then immediately stabs one of his side pistols into my foot, pinning it to the ground. His other one aims for my jaw. If he fires now, he's gonna blow my brains out. Suddenly, we were interrupted by the sound of several pairs of approaching footsteps. Is Sad on their way here?
It's time.
Milgram's finger reaches for the trigger of his side pistol. Oh, I see how it is. This entire battle was just an amusing little distraction for him until they came back. Okay, fine. And I might as well pull out all the stops now! The blade that shoots out of my left hand is made of ultra-high purity steel. It's more than capable of drilling right into the side of Milgram's anti-armor suit. How you like them apples, huh? This bad boy here is my latest acquisition. A magnetic whip! Implanting weapons into a living dead person is a risky proposition.
Into a living person.
Oh! Implanting weapons into a living person is a risky proposition. No matter how advanced our technology may be, merging mechanical parts into a living organism requires utmost skill and precision. Here's the thing, though. I already did. The surgery needed to implant all Baldy's magnetic whip into my arm took no more than an hour. All that's left is to see how it performs in live combat. Looks like it's doing its job just fine. Milgram's wound is deep enough that not even his nanomachines can treat it in time. Good. I wouldn't expect any less from the weapon that took me out.
Not bad.
As Milgram utters those words, my magnetic whip sizzles to life. Time for the climax! The rage that burns in my chest continues to weaken with every passing minute. But I'll make sure to use the weapon that killed me to pay this bastard back in full. Suddenly, the whole world erupts.
Oh man.
Cliffhanger.
Yes, because that's where I'm calling it.
Even bigger cliffhanger then.
The twist that she had the whip in her arm is really, really good and also extremely Ethica. We will absolutely be continuing next week. I don't want to take a break that long again.
Alright.
And I assume that you guys agree.
Yeah.
All
Yep.
right. I'm going to throw everyone who's still here over at Senko. Because, I mean, Senko did say that they wanted to join us at some point. And I'm going to hold on to that hope that eventually the schedule will open up for it.
Maybe you should ask them again?
I will. But that'll come later. I'm less concerned with it now than I was, because I've got another person who has expressed interest in joining us.
Yeah.
All right. Until next time, everybody, may your stories grow ever more interesting.
Bye-bye.
Farewell, everybody.
Bye!